Hey guys, how's it going? Dutchman Games here, and today we are going to work some more on a project. We're going to do some small tweaks, and we're going to work on the stats system. So first of all, we're going to change the inventory system item into an actual physical, uh, into an actual model. So I actually made another model using Mesh AI, and using this loot bag model, we are going to show that we have a item. So this will be it, and then we want it to rotate. So you want to go to add and go to rotating movement, and then you want to set it to 50 or something. And then now, if we put down our items, let's say we put one here, see it actually move, it's in the ground. Uh, Actually, let's just make it a little bit smaller, like that. And then if we take all these items and raise them up a little bit, and then make sure that the static mesh is movable, otherwise it doesn't work. We should actually be able to see them rotating, and now we can pick them up. And it's a lot easier to see uh, that these are items. And then, in the future, we can add a particle system where, you would see like a little shining or whatever. I actually think they're a little bit too big. So let's make them a tad bit smaller. There we go. And then also the box can be smaller. There we go. Okay, so now that that's set up, now that we've done that little tweak, let's actually go to the inventory system. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this inventory system, but also as a stats, as a kind of like one of those systems where you can see all your stats, so the character sheet or whatever. So in this case, we're going to take this inventory uh, icon or this inventory text, and we're gonna say stats. And what we want in this sheet here is all of the stats of our character. Um, so it's going to be pretty simple to get that shown here. But what do I mean by stats, right? So we need to first make sure that we got our stats. So we have health, we have mana, we have our XP, but that's set up in the bar up above, right? So we have talent points, and that's everything we have for now. But I want stats, I want intellect, I want all that stuff. So we're going to add some more variables, and we're going to set these to integers. And in this case, this is going to be intellect. And, copy this. Copy this over. And then this variable will be strength. And then we'll have another variable. We can call it agility, but in this case, I want to call it luck. So we have a luck variable, which is always fun. And then maybe that's it for now. So what we can do with these is we can actually set modifiers. So because they need to also do something, right? So for example, if we go to event tick on the main character, what we can do is we can get a um, on int. So you can go to switch on int for this, and then we can say for every one strength we have something, right? So this could be a very long list of bonuses that we get for one strength. So I would say, like, for example, 20 health or 40 health or whatever, right? So we're not going to do that this way, but we are going to make these to make strength work out. So actually, you want to change the name strength to something that makes more sense for health. So vitality. So what the intellect will do is then every time you're using a spell, for example, the value of intellect will be added on the amount of health healed. So for example, we can add a pin to the current health healing, and then put in the intellect as well. So what will happen now is that whenever you heal your current health plus the amount you have in intellect. And then the amount you have in intellect could also be set to, for example, the damage you do. So if you shoot someone with a fire blast, you know, then you can take the value of intellect and add that to the total damage. That's what intellect will do. Luck will basically change, will have an impact on drop rates of enemies. So if you kill an enemy, then if the enemy drops something, luck will increase the chance of that. So we'll work on that once we get there. And vitality will increase your health by the amount of vitality you have. So, but we will make that in a second, or we can also like make it, if you want to add something simple here, we could make, for example, that it adds, I don't know, something else. But that's all for the future. I just want to show these things on the inventory system. So for now, we are going to copy this again, put it below it, make sure that the anchors are right. And then in here, we're going to say health, mana, and then with shift, you can actually make a space. So add a double points. I forgot what that's called. Then we also need intellect. We need vitality, and we have luck. So these are the types of stats we have. We can also, maybe to make it a little bit cleaner, we can also just remove all these spaces in between and then have it like that. So you want to be a clear set about what the values are next to it. So what we could do is eventually we can make this into like tabs. You can see exactly which one is which. But this is the stats that we have, and then we want to add a text block. We want to be on the exact level. And then move a little bit over here, or we can move all the way to the end actually. And then this will be the health. So in this case, it'll be 100, for example, and this will be green. And then we're going to bind. And then for the text binding, we're going to cast to third person character, get player character, health, so get max health actually. There we go. Because not the current health, because the current health is the value that will go up or down. If you get the max health, then you can see what your health actually is when it's maxed. But that's depending on how you like to do it. So now we go one under, so we make sure that we're on the same level here. Make sure everything looks nice. And then we will make this blue. And then we will create a binding. And then we can just copy these like that. Get max mana. There we go. So this will be 100 and 100. So these bindings will be stuck into what they will give you, and then we can change the text block to the name of the text block could be mana, and then the name of this text block would be health. Just to keep it clear which one is which. And then you want to do this for intellect, vitality, and luck as well. Alright, so once you got that all set up, now you just need to test it out. So once we click on I, we can see that the health, mana, intellect, vitality, and luck is here. Now I don't think these actually have a good yeah, so they're actually they have a wrong anchor. So put them on the right anchor, and then that will make sense. There you go. So now we also need gold, and we're going to use a little icon for that. So let's get a image, and we already have a image for gold. So we should have coins. There we go. So, make this, just put it somewhere. I mean, this is going to be very simple setup, right? So here we have gold, and also in the right corner, we can just copy one of these and then put them over here as well. And then this one will be yellow. And then, it doesn't really matter what you do with that, but put it in the right anchor, and then bind the text to the gold value, which we don't have yet. So let's actually make a gold. So gold, there we go. And then we have a gold value, and now we just need to grab this for the mana text. Gold. There we go. And of course, we can change all these things by, by what they actually are. Vitality and intellect. There we go. Gold icon, just to make sure everything stays clear. So now we've done that. So now we should have our money set up, our gold set up. And then we also have one more, which is the talent points, which is very important. So let's actually make one more up here and say talent points, and then add the talent points value in, I don't know which color we should use. We don't have a lot of colors left. Make it orange. Nah, I don't know. I think we can make it, little purple or something. And then this will be the talent points, which, get player character, or cast to third person character, and then get player character, and then get talent points, and then add that in there as well. So now we have our talent points set up, we have our gold set up, we have all our stats set up, and now every time we press I, we can see all of our actual values and our character set up. So that's good. Now we need to have talents, of course, because we need to be able to go to our talent menu and show our talents. So actually want to make that into a separate text block. So in this case, we will just make a new widget. So what you can do is you can just duplicate this widget, call it talent screen, and then what we can do is we can just copy. We need talent points. That's what we need, right? So we can just delete this. We can delete this. We can delete this, and this, and then we can move the box over here. Move the box over here. Move close in that corner. Make this a lot bigger, actually. And then we're going to need buttons, but not these. We're not going to need gold, and we're going to need the talent points variable. Talents. Right, now it's going to tell us that we have a lot of issues. Just go to graph, and then just delete all the ones we don't need. We can actually delete everything in here, in this box, because we don't need all this, and then that will just be fine. So this will be our talent screen, and in here we're gonna have a whole bunch of talents, and we want to just be able to select any talent. You know that system where you can select this talent and then this one unlocks and then you can go down. That is a fun system, but it's also quite complex. And for this game, I want to keep it simple, so we're just going to make talents that you can unlock. So what we need is we need buttons again, and we're gonna make nice buttons for this later. But we're gonna make it size 75 by 75, and then this will be talent 1. So call it talent 1, and then we're just going to copy this. And for now, we're just going to start with 4 talents, because you know we can make this as big as we want. We're going to make it bigger for sure, but for now, we're just going to make 4 talents. And grab everything, by the way. So let's go up, grab everything, and put everything in. So everything that's not in there, and then make it go to the left side of the screen as the anchor, so that all the anchors, so it's anchored on this side. And so if you want to click on this this talent, what you're going to need is a talent point and maybe a level requisite, right? So that's what we're going to need. So, and we also need to make sure that it's already unlocked. So we're going to the third person character, and we're going to add some variables. In this case, we're going to add talent 1, and then we're going to copy that 4 times, as many times as you need. And then these will actually be booleans. So turn them into booleans. So it's either on or off. That's what a boolean is. You know, and just do it like that. And then there on the event tick, we're going to add a few pins. And then this is going to be our talent system. And then there's going to be 4 branches, or as many as you need for your talent system. And if you've been following this tutorial, you probably know what we're going to do. We're going to make it do stuff based on whether or not this talent is unlocked. So for example, our first talent will add health. So if this is true, do once, and this do once will be adding health. So we'll go to max health, and then we're going to do a plus, and then go max health, and then we're going to add 50 health, and that's the first talent. It's just some health. And the second talent will be some mana. You know, so in this case we'll say max mana, and then the talent after that we'll add a whole bunch of intellect. So we'll just add a whole bunch of intellect. So we'll say plus, and then that will be 30, no, it's 10 intellect. And then this talent will add a bunch of vitality. Right, so we'll just do the same thing, but then for vitality, just 10 vitality. And then of course a do once in each of these. So it will only happen once it is true. If you don't do this, it will just keep adding every tick, which we don't want. So this will be our simple talent system. And you can make this as big as you want, because you can make as many talents as you want, right? I might end up adding 50 talents, I don't know. And then what we do is we press on this button, we go to onClicked, and the onClicked event will say, well, first it will cost to third person character, and then it will be get player character, and then from here it will say branch, it will say branch, and it will go to get talent 1, and it will say, do you have this talent? If you have this talent, then there's going to be a sound like, I don't know, just a compile failed. That's, by the way, a horrible noise for me because I've heard that way too many times. But but the compile failed will play. Failed will play. If it's not true, then set talent 1 to true. Now you're noticing something here. We first also need to check if we have a talent point, but I want to first check if this works. First, we need to show the talent system pop-up. So what you want to do is you want to open up, you want to copy the close button and then put it above here and then say talents. And then this button will actually spawn a talent menu widget. So it will say create widget, talent screen, and then I'll say add to viewport. So you say, okay, we want to go to our talents. It will open the system. And then once I press on that, we'll have 150 health. And I can't press on it more because now it will say, hey, you already have that talent. You know, it could even say here, you already have that talent. And yeah, it won't work. So now we can close that. And then, of course, we need to also make it so that if you press that close button, it's not going to remove the mouse. Because if you do that, it's actually, if you do that, we won't see the mouse anymore. So now we can just close it and open it, close it. You can press it many times and close it many times if you want, but it doesn't really matter. So now you can just edit, and then even if you open it again, it won't work. And then even if you close everything, we open it again, it won't work. So now we have a talent system that will actually will give us stats based on which talent it is. And then now all you need to do, you should need to do that for all the buttons. And then, for example, you can say, you can do a text in it or under it, and say, you know, I don't know, iron skin or something. And then, you know, that'll be the iron skin talent. And it will give you iron skin because it makes your health higher or something. I don't know. You can make this as interesting as you want. And yeah, so that'll be the talent system. Now, of course, we also need to add the branch whether or not we have a talent point. So go here, go to get talent point, and then go to equals or more, and I go to more, yeah, greater or equal, and it has to be greater or equal to 1. So if it's false, right? And then also if this is true, then we also need to set talent point, and then we can just pull this talent point into there, into the minus, and then it has to be -1 because we're using a talent point. If it is true, then we have more than 1 or more talent points, then we'll continue. If it's false, it will make the same noise. So now, because we don't have a talent point to start with, it won't work. So we need a talent point. And how do we get talent points? We get those based on leveling up. Now we haven't done the leveling up logic yet. That's because the leveling up logic will actually. Oh wait, we do. I think leveling current level +1. Yeah, okay, but we need the leveling to actually happen when we do something. We can actually try this. So we can actually make a custom event here real quick. So say when we press 5, leveling will happen. So we press 5, we'll level up. And now we are level 2, and we have a talent point. We can spend that talent point, it will be removed, and we'll have 150 health. And it's actually interesting because here it's pretty sure, yeah, it actually adds more XP. So to the max XP, which also be a variable that be saved. So yeah, so now we have a system that gives us talent points. We have a talent point system. We have a stats system. We get all this stuff, which is nice. I might still also add the XP and the level in this little screen, but that kind of depends on what you want to do with it. So I would suggest you guys to just now add all the talents you want, make all of them, make custom icons for these to make it look cool. And what you can do is, you can make this as interesting as possible. You can go hog wild with all these stats and all that stuff. In the next episode, I want to have all this done because then I want to take a look at the equipables. So I want to actually add another box up here, which will show a weapon equipable and a ring equipable. And then also physically being able to see the weapons. And that's actually quite simple. We're just going to add the weapons into the model and then make it appear and disappear whenever we want to. And then based on which weapon you have equipped. So that's going to be pretty interesting. That's the next episode. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. Leave a like and subscribe down if you did. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Cheers.